Trash talking school almost feels like a societal sin to me. School was something that was never questioned in my childhood. It's something that you just don't do. I always had skeptical thoughts about school because I felt like they weren't doing a good job teaching me. Going into class and feeling bored just didn't feel right as a kid. For how much school was said to be super important and super necessary, it just felt weird for me as a kid to not want to go into class sometimes. It felt like it should be the opposite. If this thing is so important, why am I not enjoying it? I found myself prioritizing getting high grades over actually enjoying the learning process. School is supposed to be a place of education, but children care more about the grades than the actual learning part. Tests and exams are a one-size-fits-all system. I always used to think that people who didn't do well at tests or exams or school in general were the problem. Why didn't they just fit in like the majority of children, right? What's wrong with them? I thought this because children who were slow at learning or were not good at tests or just couldn't pay attention, they were the problem. These are the guys who would get into trouble, who would get detention or have to go to their principal's office, right? Because these children were not participating in these rules of school. So obviously, as somebody who is doing everything that's being told to them, I would think they are the problem. But in reality, maybe they weren't the problem, but the system they were in was the problem. Testing children's intelligence only through tests and exams was the problem. Tests have a place in the world, don't get me wrong, but I find it insane that educators think it's logical to primarily evaluate children with standardized tests and nothing else. Some students do enjoy this and thrive in this type of system. Some don't enjoy it, but they still thrive because that's all they know. Some don't enjoy it and do okay in it. Some don't enjoy it and don't do well at all. It's sad how much potential is being wasted every day in school because the majority of people do the work just because they have to rather than because they want to actually learn. This isn't fulfilling potential or authentically learning. Tests and exams definitely do not make children reach their full potential because they weren't made for that reason. In the early 1900s, people back then weren't concerned about potential or reaching your potential, and standardized tests ensured that. Right, back then, they just wanted people to go into the workforce and just work. That's all they wanted. So just because schools may say they want to fulfill students' potential on their mission statement or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that the standardized system of school was made to evaluate children by comparing them to each other. Individuality wasn't wanted. Success in school isn't how you have developed as a person or the emotional skills you've learned or what you've learned from failure or the values you've learned. It's how high of a grade you can get. A high grade is deemed as a student being successful. It doesn't matter if you're depressed or riddled with insecurities or don't know who you are. A high grade is success. Schools can disagree with this. They can say they care about the well-being of students and try to implement supportive programs. That itself is the problem. Schools should be preparing and teaching children how to deal with mental and emotional problems, not just implementing programs to deal with them. Mental health and all these things and all these issues are caused by the environment we surround ourselves in. The bad friends, the unfortunate life experiences, and or social media. School should also be added to that list, not because of the bullying that could happen or the friends being bad influences or tests and exams causing bad habits and just stress. School should be on that list because they do not adequately develop children that can respond to the challenges of life. They cause some of these issues and they don't even properly teach or prepare students and children on how to combat these issues. Schools are implementing supportive programs to deal with the mental issues they have contributed to or have failed to prepare children to tackle. So yes, you might think this whole video is being a little bit too harsh on the school system, but I have to be harsh. We spend way too much time at school for them not to teach us all the necessary things for life. So yes, you can say I'm being harsh, but I kinda have to, because there is too much time involved here. And it would also be beneficial if schools acknowledge their areas that they are not good at, so that at least parents and students can be more aware of this. I'm just saying, it would be very naive for anyone to have full faith in the education system. It's too outdated, even with the updates in the external elements like having iPads and computers. The core of it is still completely outdated. And I think with the development of AI tools and just different programs, the need to memorize information will become completely obsolete or just not significant anymore. The tests and exams will feel redundant, because why should I memorize and study all this stuff if that in the real world it will just be just right there in AI tools or just Google. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little rant about the education system. And I won't lie, I am biased. I'm biased in this regard because I did not enjoy school. Trust me, I was pretty happy making this video and writing this script. However, I did enjoy the social parts and all that. And even if I'm biased, there is still a lot of important things I do talk about in this video. So I hope you did enjoy.